1, 2, 3,
I'm a little worried about Carrie and Tim. They don't look at each other the same way anymore.
Something's bothering you.
I have been struggling.
Carrie.
I have built my whole world around you.
Tim is in love with another woman.
I keep going over it in my mind, and I have no idea how we got to this point.
I don't know why you want to stay with him.
I'm fighting for my marriage.
I get you made a commitment to Tim.
You don't know anything about commitment. You can't commit to anything.
Have you talked to Ryan?
Carrie, if you ever need someone to talk to, you know I'm only a phone call away, right?
Why did you come back?
To save our marriage, if that's still what you want.
You cannot move beyond this guilt until you find the courage to allow yourself to just feel.
Forgiveness happens once. Healing takes a lifetime.
You're my sister. You have always been there for me.
I'm still scared.
But you're not alone. We're your family. It fills our hearts to know that we can be here for you.
It's so nice to see you on screen again and in this family drama. How is it for you? Because I know you've been a lot working kind of behind the scenes over the last couple of years. I think fans are just going to love this show and love you in it finally.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it was really fun to step back in front of the camera again. I haven't been on a series drama since I played Monica on Touched by an Angel. So I think that fans of that show will be happy to see me back playing the role of Elizabeth Baxter. So I play the mom to this beautiful, if slightly complicated family dynamic. And I just fell in love with these stories, you know, from Karen Kingsbury. And I felt with my producing hat on, I felt this has to become a TV series. And then I had the opportunity to step into the pivotal role of mom myself. So it's been great. It's been an exciting project to work on, a fun and meaningful project to work on. And so excited. We're just days away from the launch now, this great global launch that we're going to have on Prime Video for Easter weekend.
So it's so interesting to me when I've been telling, because I was able to binge it before we chatted, and I've just been telling everybody about it. I'm like, finally, we have a good family drama that has some grit to it about a faith-based family. They're not perfect, but it's a family. It just makes praying seem normal. It's just so different than anything else, any other kind of drama that's out.
It's extraordinary, I think, particularly for people of faith, audiences of faith, to see people praying on the screen is such a rarity. And yet it's a very natural thing for the Baxters and for their community, their church-going family. And life brings them to their knees. As we know, if you live long enough, it does. You know, nobody escapes the trials and the tribulations and the triumphs that a life can bring. And this family certainly has its challenges. You know, this first season, Redemption, based on the Karen Kingsbury book by the same name, deals with the theme of infidelity. I mean, it's not going to shy away from pertinent social issues and important things that happen in people's lives. But we get to see it through the lens of faith and a family who pray. And we know the family that prays together stays together. So we're hoping that audiences of all faiths will show up for it. But, you know, you use the word binge, and it's a fairly new word, bingeability, in my vocabulary. But I think that The Baxters is really a bingeable show. And I've already, you know, a few friends have had an opportunity to check out a couple of episodes, and they haven't been able to stop at the first episode. They've poured their self into a few of them. And I think that it's a credit to Karen's writings and the characters that she's created that, you know, you just want to know more about these people. And, you know, Elizabeth and John Baxter are mother and father to 5 grown-up children. and the series deals with them and their spouses or their girlfriends, boyfriends. So it's a lot of principal characters. That gives us a lot of material to tell stories on, and that we have a great young cast stepping into the roles. Ted McGinley, of course, plays John Baxter along with me. And we have a great group of kids playing the kids, including my own kid. My daughter Riley plays the youngest Baxter, Erin. My dear friend Kathy Lee Gifford stepped into a guest starring role. We've known each other a very long time, and I asked her if she would. And her daughter, Cassidy Gifford, plays the character of Reagan, who's the girlfriend of Luke Baxter. So there's mother-daughter themes in the content of the show, and mother-daughters in the show. And I think it just has something for everybody. And honestly, there's no ask here of your audience. We're not asking you to go out and buy a ticket and go somewhere and do something. Viewing habits changed a lot, I think, for many people during the pandemic. All we're asking here is that if you're home, maybe with your own family, with your sister, with your mother, with your grandmother, that you all curl up on the couch together and turn on Amazon's Prime Video and check out The Baxters. It's a family series. It's made by families for families.
I mentioned, that this is going to be so fun for people to see you on camera, but you have been working hard off camera as well. And I just want you to kind of shed some light, because a lot of times we don't see that. The public doesn't maybe see what's happening, but it's so important we support these. But I had a chance. I was out at the Chosen teal carpet, so I saw you there. So I see you, and certainly your company, producing other projects like these. I mean, what is your pulse? I mean, you've been at this for a while now. I think you can have such a good gauge at where we're at.
More than 30 years in the faith and family space. My company, I named it Light Workers, and our adopted mantra was that it was better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. And I've always felt committed to telling stories that uplift and inspire. And so last Easter, I had the good fortune again on Prime Video. They've been so good to me. They gave me the Easter slot last year as well with the film I produced called On a Wing and a Prayer, which starred Dennis Quaid. And it was a big hit on the platform. So they've given me the Easter launch again, and I'm thrilled with that for Baxters. But primarily since Touched by an Angel, I've been producing. I produced a series on the Bible, maybe the precursor to The Chosen. We brought the Bible to the screen as a drama on the History Channel, and many of our friends and colleagues at the time said, "You guys, who's going to want to watch the Bible on television?" And it turns out over 100 million people watched the series, so clearly quite a lot. We did AD, The Bible Continues. We did Ben-Hur. We worked with the Irwins on Woodlawn, with Alejandro Monteverde on Little Boy. So we've been, deeply committed to creating content that, that's purpose really is to encourage and welcome people home to the Lord.
Where do you see the future? It seems like a lot more people are, the audience is there. Even some of the things you just mentioned, there is an audience and a hunger.
I think it's so exciting. I think it's such an exciting time for our industry. And, when I first got touched by an angel, I was just so thrilled that I had the opportunity to combine what I love to do, which is tell stories, with what I believe. And I think we're just starting to see more and more content in this space. And, obviously, the more audience that show up for it and the bigger noise that we can make, for projects like this, then there will be more and more. Amazon's Prime Video have already, Variety led with the headline just last month that they were looking to get more into the faith space. I think that, a faith audience are sophisticated. They're expecting quality content.
That was my next word, quality.
It has to be. I think in the past, maybe when faith content was created, we all kind of dutifully showed up to try to support it because we felt obligated to. But I think that we are, as a more sophisticated audience than that now. I mean, we're watching Prime Video, we're watching other TV networks. We're not some strange little group of people that don't do stuff. We do the same things that everybody else does, and we deserve quality. But I think we do want to see our stories reflected on the screen. I mean, I come from a family that when life brings us to our knees, we pray. And so one of the things I love about the Baxters is just the ease with which they hold hands and pray it in, whatever that happens to be. And, as we said at the beginning of our conversation, how strange is it that we just never see that on TV. And so if that's important to you or your audience, you're going to love what you see in the Baxters because you're going to see your own values and the kinds of people that you are, that is in your community, reflected in the narrative of this TV drama, yet it doesn't shy away from edgy themes. It's not like diluted. It hasn't been sort of scrubbed down. It's still going to have rough edges to it, but it has a lot of heart. And I think what it reminds you, this first season in particular, which is called Redemption, which is, we're not perfect people. We're all flawed. And we don't always behave the way we should, and we don't always make the kind of choices that we should. We see that play out in this family, and they don't always like each other, but they always love each other. And, there is always room for a second chance. There's always an opportunity to come home to God.
And this is going to give so many people that opportunity to have maybe that conversation and say, what would you do? And that's what I just love, when we can watch a show that'll point to gospel conversations. So job well done. Thank you so much for continuing to be in this space, to do it well. And I just look forward to talking with you again, because I know there's going to be other projects, and I hope people again show up and watch this, tell their family and friends about it. And again, we'll see what's coming down the pipeline later, because I know there's got to be more.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to see you again.